Hello, Mr. Bailey, and to my course evaluators. My name is Kim Harder. I am from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Firstly, I would like to thank you, Mr. Bailey, for creating this course in order to share your experience and knowledge with students like myself. I am pleased to submit to you my final project for your evaluation. I hope you enjoy my presentation. While reviewing the images of your favorite things, Mr. Bailey, I quite enjoyed the challenge of discerning which elements of each image appeal to you and why. For my first design inspiration, I chose the stone architectural work and the snowy forest next to the frozen lake. The first thing that struck me about these two images was the monochromatic theme. Using shades of one color in design is a popular current trend seen in many magazines and blogs. I thought it would be a great basis of inspiration. Additionally, I really loved the strong textures in both images, from the stonework in image 1 to the branches of image 2. I felt that I could incorporate these into my event design in a variety of ways. The venue that I have selected for this event is the Shaw Conference Centre Hall D, nestled right in the heart of downtown Edmonton. This venue accommodates up to 1,200 guests for a seated dinner. Hall D provides the perfect backdrop for this event. A dramatic glass wall opens this great space to the natural light during the day and a star-filled sky at night, which is directly over the picturesque North Saskatchewan River Valley. I love the refractive look of the frozen lake in the inspiration image, which is wonderfully replicated in this window wall. Additionally, Hall D has 30-foot open rafter ceilings, which immediately came to mind when I saw the stone architecture image. This height offers a lot of flexibility and opportunity for signature statement ceiling treatments. Lastly, the color of this room is very neutral, which will play well into my monochromatic choices for this event. There is a long, narrow foyer that lines the side of Hall D. I would like to create a signature statement in this entrance space, as this acts as the introduction to this event. I will be creating an artificial stone walkway using stone facade pieces purchased at a hardware store. This will be lined with twinkling lanterns hanging from shepherd's hooks. The use of voile or chiffon fabric on the walls will provide a delicate ambiance and atmosphere. The fabric will be warmly uplit from behind. The main entrance will be flanked on either side with a few tall artificial trees. The leaves will be removed and they will be pulled and tied together at the top and center of this doorway. This will create a dramatic arch under which the guests will walk as they excitedly enter the event space. I will be using square tables for this event to mimic the square stonework in image 1. I have selected a gorgeous floor-length taffeta crinkle linen in an iridescent pewter. This linen reflects light beautifully at different angles, and guests love the unique texture. The lucite or crystal shibari chairs bring in the icy nature theme from image 2, while maintaining the monochromatic palette. A square beveled mirror will act as a charger plate, and clean glass dinnerware will not distract from the design. This silverware by Jasper Morrison boasts clean lines and modern flair. I love the bold detail of this Hut Charlotta crystal glassware to add interest to the tabletop. The challenge in using only shades of gray is to find other ways to continue exciting your guests. Intricate and ornate embellishments replace color change in this decor design. The centerpieces will be polished silver trees that stand between 4 and 5 feet above each table. This will create an overall effect of walking into a glittering frozen forest as guests enter the hall. It is important to remember ceiling height when selecting centerpieces, as a higher centerpiece in a room with high ceilings helps to bring the room in towards the guests. As Mr. Bailey emphasizes, no detail should be overlooked. The square base of this centerpiece pulls through the shape of the tables and the charger plates. Crystal garlands will be strung from the branches of the trees. Adding pin spotting to each table center will create constant light movement through these strands. Crisp white florals will be used as accents, and flickering votive candles in these mirrored holders enhance the intimacy and warmth of this cool-toned event. As I mentioned, Hall D has 30-foot ceilings, perfect for a dramatic ceiling statement piece. These 5-foot by 5-foot cube chandeliers, designed by Elegant Touches in Edmonton, make incredible impact. 2 feet of Swarovski crystals hang from them and move gently throughout the evening. These are a definite wow factor and will be something your guests remember long after this event is done. For my second inspiration, I wanted to select a more vibrant and festive palette. The first image that really spoke to me was that of the layered artichokes. I was drawn to the texture and the bold shade of green. I believe the peacock image made a natural pair, displaying some of the same green tones and adding another dimension with the royal blue. I also love the dramatic flair of the peacock itself. Since my first design was monochromatic, I wanted to stretch my muscles with a variety of colors in this design. When I found this third image, which incorporated both the artichoke green and the peacock blue, I couldn't resist adding a rich aubergine to the decor plan. I have also chosen to use gold as an accent color. The venue I have selected for this design inspiration is one of my favorite locations in the city. It definitely wears its name well. The Oasis Center is one of Edmonton's newest premier venues for corporate events, celebrations, wedding ceremonies, and receptions. Some of the highlights are the floor-to-ceiling marble foyer, luxurious grand ballroom, and of course, the stunning private gardens that feature a paved courtyard, 2 waterfalls, and a rippling koi pond. The Oasis Center Grand Ballroom has a tiered theater-style design and can accommodate up to 400 guests for a seated dinner. An elegant satin floor-length linen in rich aubergine will adorn the tables. I chose to keep the table linen simple in order to provide the embellishments with an unobstructed background. The scrolling woodwork of the gold chateau chair is a wonderful way to add a traditional feel to the decor. This 24-karat gold-plated silverware from the Horchow collection pulls through the elegant scroll design from the chairs and adds a unique bit of detail in an unusual place. Teal satin napkins will adorn gold lacquered charger plates. This hand-painted glassware from Native Motif is a gorgeous addition to the tabletop and could double as a wonderful gift for guests to take home. When I saw the artichokes, I knew I had to include them in the centerpieces. I wanted to create a natural and eclectic look combining florals and earthy textures. I will be using 3 clear glass cylinder vases of differing heights in a cluster at the center of the table. The tallest cylinder will be filled with artichokes, as seen in this image. At the top of the cylinder will be a lush arrangement of red lettuce. The middle cylinder will be filled with water and will have a group of hand-tied purple calla lilies propped at an angle out of the top of the vase. The short cylinder will be filled with artichokes, and green ranuncula will be perched on top. Peacock feathers will be added to each cylinder on site, coming out of the cylinders at different angles. The peacock feathers will be used very specifically throughout the room so as not to be overdone. Gold glass beaded votive cups will flicker candlelight across the tabletops. My signature statement for this event will draw the guest's eyes upward. As I mentioned earlier, I want to be very specific about the placement of the peacock feathers, and in these ceiling treatments the feathers will be the focal point. I will be using the venue's existing light fixtures to hang handcrafted additions. Using a lightweight foam core in the shape of a tulip bulb, I will create large chandelier extensions that eventually mimic the layered form of an artichoke. The layers will be created by a number of peacock feathers that will be poked into the foam base. At 3 ends I will hang gorgeous blue Swarovski crystals that will shimmer from the light fixtures above them. This is a sketch of my design and what the eventual outcome would be. The focus throughout this course was on defining one's signature statement. What would make this event a Kim Harder event? As I am newer to this field, I feel that my signature elements are still a work in progress. However, after reviewing the events I presented here, as well as events I have designed over the past year with elegant touches, a noticeable common thread is my tendency to deliberately incorporate multiple textures in my fabric and accessory choices. The juxtaposition of 2 or 3 very different yet compatible textures that relate to the theme of the event adds dimension and depth to the tabletop design. For instance, in the pewter event, I chose the crinkle taffeta linens and acrylic chairs, whereas in the peacock event, I incorporated feathers, satin, and the visible texture of the artichokes. More recently, I set a chiffon ruffle runner over top of a chantilly lace runner. I love watching guests go right up to the tables and feel the textures with their fingertips. This adds a sense of touch to their visual experience. I know my style and signature will grow alongside my career, and I look forward to the day that someone will walk into a room and say, "This is definitely the work of Kim Harder." That concludes my presentation. Thank you again to my longevity instructors, and of course to you, Mr. Bailey, for imparting your wisdom. I would like to leave you with some of the most important lessons I have learned from this course, a few of my favorite things inspired by your own. Keep a positive outlook. Create your own path. Reach for new heights. See the beauty in nature. Establish your own personal flair. No detail is too small to be overlooked. Create a lasting impression through emotional elements. A good designer forecasts for rainy days and always has a plan B. The field of event design is fluid and dynamic, so continue refining your craft. Find peace and balance at work at home, and dare to be different. Thanks again, Mr. Bailey. I look forward to meeting you here in Edmonton in October.